All of the top seeds have advanced in the first 3 games of the quarterfinals. Can the 3 seed Miami continue the trend, or will the 6 seed Toledo crash the party and head to the semifinals? We'll find out. Welcome to Quicken Loans Arena, the Women's Mid-American Conference Basketball Tournament. Along with Jackie Winden, I'm Dave Bacon. Jackie, the 6 seed Toledo survived a tough battle in the first round against Ball State on their home court. Won a close one to advance, and really one of the gals that got it done, Kyla McIntyre, she had an outstanding game, 19.6 rebounds in that first round win.
Well, she's a tremendous presence on the inside. She does a great job of using her body in the inside. She establishes on that low post. She's got great range and can really fill it up. And she's effective at both ends of the floor. She's great on the glass. And again, it's shooting it at 58% from the floor. So when you're that effective in the inside and that reliable, it really provides an offensive spark for the Rockets.
Miami comes in as the 3rd seed. The Redhawks 13-5 on the year in the Mid-American Conference. Second-year head coach Megan Duffy has the Redhawks playing at a very high level.
Yeah, they went through about a 3-game losing skid at the end of the regular season, but really started to find their way in the second half against Ohio, even though they lost it, and then the win at Akron. And she says, that their team is really starting to play well and really started to regroup after those 3 losses, and she feels really good about where they are right now.
And they have one of the outstanding players in the league, Lauren Dickerson, the point guard, makes it go.
Yeah, diminutive guard that really can make plays at both ends of the floor. But I tell you what, her IQ and her ability to play as a point guard has really improved under Megan Duffy's leadership. And she's effective with the ball in her hands in terms of scoring it, but also her vision and understanding defenses and being able to get other players involved. And she's a special player, going to have the ball in her hands a lot tonight.
Miami wants to make it a top seed party in the semis. Toledo wants to crash the party. Let's take a look at the 5 that will start on the floor for the Toledo Rockets. We mentioned Kayla McIntyre, a senior. Michaela Boyd will join her. Santucci, the point guard. St. Fort, and Nakia Black, the starting 5. Black, a sophomore, averaging 10.7 points a game. The starting 5 for Megan Duffy's Miami Redhawks. Levering inside. You have Dickerson and Purvis, Reed and McCoy. And Kendall McCoy, underrated. The 6-foot senior, 11.6.4 rebounds per game for the Redhawks. We've had 3 quarterfinal games. Top 3 seeds have advanced. Let's see if Miami can continue that trend.
This should be a tight basketball game. You talk about the grueling season that both of these teams have gone through in regards to conference play, and as Bob Bolden just spoke about in the win over Northern Illinois, he said it's you're lucky to be here, and every team that's here is good, and these 2 teams are ready to, I'm sure, roll up their sleeves and really get after it today.
Red Hawk fans ready to go, and we will get things underway momentarily. The final quarterfinal game as 2019 action from Quicken Loans Arena well underway. The men take center stage with their 4 quarterfinal games tomorrow night, and then the semis on Friday. McIntyre will go against Levering, and it is tapped and controlled by the Rockets as Michaela Boyd has it.
Starting out in that half-court man-to-man, just getting out, identifying good communication there on the inside. they wanted to make sure that Levering didn't get caught on the guard when they had originally switched. So good job of reacting and getting involved here early at the defensive end.
Rebound pulled down by Boyd on the St. Fort miss.
That's the activity, you know, keeping possessions alive. That's something to track throughout the game, are these 50-50 balls and those offensive rebound putbacks and those types of opportunities that could be the difference in what is expected to be a tight contest.
Charge called against Nakia Black. And a good job defensively by Bailey Reed.
No, it's just good job. She almost went through the lane with her player, but good recognition to see in Reed what the Toledo Rockets were trying to do offensively there, and did a nice job, did Reed, of just standing in and taking the contact.
There is Lauren Dickerson around the high ball screen. They work it inside. Levering off the backboard rebound, ripped down by Kayla McIntyre. Good job of boxing out.
And I think you're going to see both teams kind of approach the low post the same way, because we've got some effective post players in the game. We're going to see players maybe not necessarily commit to the double team, but just dig in a little bit and try to disrupt and not make it so easy just to catch and score.
Offensive foul again, as that time it was McCoy drawing the charge.
Again, just sliding over into position. Good job defensively to take the contact. You know, I can look there at Trisha Collup, who's done a tremendous job at Toledo over the years, and
in her 11th season with the Rockets.
Yeah, having another great season, and just continues to get great players to come, and you know, such a following at Toledo with the home crowd support when you go into that venue, and they've given their fans a lot to cheer about.
Purvis knocks down the three-pointer. Leah Purvis with the first points of the game. They belong to the Red Hawks.
You know, Purvis and Reed, those are the type of players that, as much as we want to talk about Dickerson and Levering and some of these players on the inside, they're consistent, they're steady, and they provide some great opportunities at the offensive end to score the basketball, and they step up and play with confidence.
St. Fort, little mid-range jumper, front of the iron, but it's gathered by Boyd. A little bit of a wild shot. Levering grabs the rebound. And
a good decision there by Dickerson. Looked like she wanted to throw that ball and then caught herself. That's what we're talking about in terms of the IQ and making a good decision with the basketball.
Purvis open three again. 2 for 2 from behind the arc. 6-point lead for the third seed from Miami.
Yeah, Purvis and Reed both right now on the wings have really settled in. That's what we're talking about, that extra offense, and take some of the pressure off Dickerson and the inside-out game.
Little skip pass. Santucci, good look inside, left-hand finish. That was pretty as St. Fort gets the bucket.
Great pass through the interior. Nice job then of collecting and finishing. Early on, you can just kind of tell this is going to be a great back-and-forth basketball game. Dickerson,
little 16-footer. She buries it.
That's a great decision. She came off that ball screen there, and defense is trailing, and you know, that's a good decision to shoot that mid-range jumper. You can't just come back and shoot the three because the defense is trailing. And she doesn't always want to get into traffic either because of her size, so a good decision to shoot that mid-range jump shot.
This time Purvis drives, banks it in. 8 early for Leah Purvis.
Well, she's right at her average, 8.1 in the early going.
4 minutes into the game.
That's a good sign for the Red Hawks.
Good job to get inside by Michaela Boyd.
Well, she's just got great patience to her game. You know, we talk about Dickerson as a point guard, but Michaela Boyd is a tremendous guard in her own right as well. Athletic and has great size, and a good decision there. She can take a little bit of contact because she's physical, and you're going to need her to play well.
Ball's kicked by Mariella Santucci.
For Miami, number 32, Savannah Kleesner.
So Savannah Kleesner checks in. It was actually Sarah Rokinen who kicked that ball. Three-pointer off of the rim by Black, and it's gathered by Kleesner, who just checked in. good pass. Kleesner can't finish, but what a look by Dickerson.
That's just part of that IQ, picking apart defenses, seeing what they're going to give you, and they did a nice job of defending that screen, but she found just enough of a gap to throw the pass through the lane, and both teams really looking effective here off screens. Talk about that. Great shot.
Nakaya Black hits the three.
Good job of getting square, getting her feet back and turned around. You know, we've said that all day. Just so disciplined are these shooters in terms of getting themselves square and not taking bad shots, but getting their feet under them, taking that extra second. That was a big basket for Toledo to keep pace here in the early going.
Kicked by Black.
And Toledo doing a great job right now on the hard hedge here on these ball screens at the top. Doing a good job of slowing Miami down just enough to get that high-low look.
10-7 is our score. Timeout on the floor. Just under halfway through this first quarter. Miami leading Toledo.
Official tournament apparel is available at souvenir stands on the main complex. Choose from t-shirts, hats, sweatshirts. Please make sure to pick up your official game program.
Normally it's supposed to be back.
Our friends at the University Hospital Sports Medicine t-shirt now are here. You want a shirt? Then make some noise.
Leave it out a couple inches is fine, but that just in case one of them is under fire.
University Hospital Sports Medicine is proud to be the official healthcare provider of the University Hospital Sports Medicine, right here for easy sports medicine care. For employment near you, call 216-983-WED.
Quite a start for Leah Purvis. Back-to-back three-pointers. Also took it inside 8 of the first 10 points for the Redhawks.
Yeah, she's a perfect 3 of 3 from the floor, and 2 of those coming from long distance. Just a 31% three-point shooter, and she has stepped onto the floor ready to play today and off to a perfect start.
A couple of substitutions as Beecham checks in for Toledo, as does Carlston Henberg. Kleesner only 6 on the shot clock. Little up and under move. Savannah Kleesner, nice finish.
Yeah, great footwork and nice job there. Facing up, composed move, and that's just, she's done that move repetition after repetition. It's just a natural move for her, and she looked and finished with ease.
Kenzie Schmitz also checks in for Miami out of that timeout. Redhawks a 12-7 lead. They will have the ball, and Megan Duffy has got things headed in the right direction quickly.
I tell you, she came in and really made some noise early, and as this Miami team bought in and playing well, and they've evolved under her system, and again, in and off the glass. And, you know, she talked yesterday, we talked last evening, and she said, you know, that inside-out game is going to be important. They want to establish some inside presence and get touches, and take some of the pressure off having to perform from outside the arc, and, you know, pressure on making jump shots. Speaking of jump shots, that's 2 now for Nakia Black, stepping up and making it look easy from long range.
Well, we mentioned Kleesner, 1-point win over Toledo back in January. She had 16 points, 13 rebounds. So she's somebody that this matchup can favor.
And that's what it comes down to this point of the year, is matchups. And these are 2 teams that really, you know, I think, you know, match up well. And that's a difficult call because the offensive stops, you know, it's a challenging move. It's almost, and sometimes you'll see that called as an offensive foul.
3-pointer, back of the iron by Carlston Henberg, and
difficult player in the post, and this is what you're talking about. Great job by Kleesner, and Boyd trying to make a play on it as well, but the contact is going to go against Boyd.
And Boyd will get a breather.
That's what Brian Enterline's explaining right now to Tricia Collup, is that I think that the offensive player stops. It's almost an undercut then of the defense, even though it looks awkward with the defensive player falling on top of the offense.
Jayla Johnson checks in for Toledo. There's Kleesner. Oh, good hands defensively. It's Nakia Black again, all over the court.
I tell you, and this is what we said early on, was that post players are going to play one-on-one. They're not going to commit to the double team, but you're going to see these hands and these arms kind of dive in and make it difficult to disrupt that post play. And, you know, give McIntyre some credit for bumping Kleesner and keeping her away from the rim, and then you've got the duck in there, or the, you know, dive in by Black to really get in there and be disruptive.
Kleesner too easy on the baseline that time. Johnson will back out. Tatiana Davis loses control. Great hustle. They get it to Kleesner. She'll take it inside and draw the foul. Great job going to the deck to pick that up by Kenzie Schmitz.
Well, the 50-50 balls, right? That's what we talk about. And both teams doing a great job of getting on the floor to try and make a play. And then you see, how about the hesitation move from the post player?
Guard skills.
I tell you.
Not sure Megan Duffy would necessarily agree, but she'll take the move on that one.
Collective holding of the breath, right? But great take by Kleesner again, off to a solid start here. Where is she now from the floor? Where's she at down there? 3 of 5, yeah.
Already 7 points, mentioned in an earlier matchup, 16 points, 13 rebounds, a double-double. And right back towards that in this game, now 8 points for Savannah Kleesner, coming in off the bench for Megan Duffy. Davis. Black, a little short, rebound Purvis.
Another good jump shot for her though. Black attacking the lane and looking for a place to get some offense, and Black has provided it.
Dickerson called for the offensive foul.
Going to see here, attacking crossover, and there's, you're going to see that shoulder just trying to create space. And you know, that's what we talk about in the officiating world, is angles and looks at the play. And right there you get the beauty of the instant replay. And I'm not sure any Miami fans agree with that call when they saw it in real time, but when you break it down like that, you see her try to lower the shoulder to create some space.
Good take inside, but unable to finish is Johnson. And Miami has possession. 9-point lead for the 3rd seed, the Miami Redhawks. Dickerson, 3, back of the iron. Good job of cleaning it up by Nakia Black.
Well, Toledo's done a decent job here on the glass. They're got 2 offensive rebounds, haven't given up any to Miami, and that's one of the things both coaches talked about was controlling the glass in terms of valuing the basketball and possessions, and both really wanted to make sure that they limited the offensive opportunities by cleaning up the glass at the defensive end.
5 on the shot clock, still possession with Toledo.
Another good look at it here, and just a nice job defensively to try to get a hand on it, and a good job by Black to try to keep the possession at this end. And it's just kind of a chess match right now with, you know, offense, defense, just really trying to be disruptive. And right now, Miami's got the nod.
2 on the shot clock. Still Toledo basketball. Just 1 on the shot clock. Rokinen checks back in, and she will inbound it. Johnson beat the clock, but it is a shot clock violation because it did not hit the rim. 7-second differential between shot clock and game clock here in this first quarter. McCoy can't get it to go. Good look for Kendall McCoy.
And another great job by Toledo on the glass to limit that and give themselves an opportunity now to get into double figures and cut into this Miami lead. But a good job there at that last defensive possession to challenge and collect.
Trying to get it inside. Good look. And finishing is Kayla McIntyre. Nice little set piece there to get to within 7. At the end of the first quarter, Miami an 18-11 lead. Savannah Kleesner 8 off the bench to lead the Redhawks.
Take care of the basketball.
And 1 for Michaela Boyd. Good strong take inside. She can cut it.
Now just turns the corner there, and we saw a couple of charges in the first half, but the defense just laid on the rotation there, and Michaela Boyd makes them play. Great take, going hard to the rim. Takes, again, we mentioned it early, she's got a physical, you know, she's got good size and athleticism, and she can take that contact and still finish at the rim. Makes her a very, very good guard.
Kleesner checks back in for Miami. It is a 4-point game, as in fact Boyd does convert the 3-point play. Reed. There's Kleesner. Good look inside. Reed can't finish.
Yeah, good pass there as they bumped Kleesner out. We've seen that up and under move a couple times, and now Miami's been scoreless for over the last 3 minutes. And Toledo just chipping their way right back into the game.
Good pass again. McIntyre finishes inside.
Yeah, she's 2 of 3 now from the floor and has had 2 really good touches, one to end that first period, now 1 here early in the second. I think that's a good decision to try to get her more involved with the basketball.
McCoy. They're kind of trapping Dickerson.
They're throwing that real hard hedge out, not allowing her to turn and go back to the other side of the floor, and that's why they all want to commit to keeping her on ball side, but they find a way to throw that skip pass over across to who else? Bailey Reed.
She knocks down the jumper. Lead back to 4 for Miami. Are you trying to get the ball out of Dickerson's hands when you hedge that hard?
Absolutely, trying to and condense the floor by keeping her on that side of the floor. But you know, and she's so small, and I mean that in an endearing way because I'm only 5 foot myself. But you know, you're trying to just almost smother her out there and force her to get the ball out of her hands and commit to this side of the floor. But a great job there, splitting the defense.
Then she knocks down the jumper.
And that's what happens if you head out, or if you give that hard hedge and give too much of a gap to try to cut off her being able to slide back to the right side of the floor. Because she's small, she doesn't need that big of a gap, and she was able to find enough of some space there.
Foul away from the ball on Miami.
Yeah, Bailey Reed trying to get through the screen there, and a nice play by design. You're going to see right here just trying to get through that screen and can't do that. We've seen a couple football plays, you said, blocking and all that. I mean, that's what you love about this time of year. And a nice job, extends her arms to help up the rocket that fell to the floor.
Toledo's done a nice job in the low post in this second quarter, spinning around, getting a good look, but unable to finish is Sarah St. Fort. Dickerson again. That time kind of airmails it, not on the same page with Kleesner.
And that, again, I can't help but believe that's a result of the pressure that she's seeing, you know, so far away from the basket. And that's a good defensive strategy for Toledo to really get out and kind of, I don't want to say beat her down, but just really pressure her and put her into some situations where she's going to have to get physical and get creative to get by that defense.
Trying to take her out of a comfort level. Off the mark by Boyd, but run down by St. Fort. 7 on the shot clock. Black, good dish inside, and a finish by McIntyre.
Well, result of an offensive rebound first and foremost, but how about McIntyre? Just couldn't quite gather the basketball, but enough recognition to know that the shot clock's winding down and gathered enough to be able to get a good shot off to get the ball to go in. She's had a big 4 or 5 minutes here going into the end of that first period.
Kleesner goes to work. Nice little turn. She gets her shoulders turned, and it's going in.
I mean, you know, so much, and you talk about defending post players and players with their back to the basket. You say, okay, well, if we can bump them off the low block, we've done our job. But a player like Kleesner, where she can face up and she's got great feet, and for as big and long as she is, she's got good agility, too, to be able to really square herself up when she makes a move to the rim and finish.
Three-pointer by Black, off the rim. Rebound grabbed by Kennedy Taylor for Miami. Little hesitation, Dickerson. Oh, Dickerson throws it up, it won't go in. Nice move, though, by the point guard. And a timeout by the Toledo Rockets. We're gonna take the timeout with them. It's a good one going here as the third seed Miami up 4 on Toledo.
Basketball tournament presented by Visit Myrtle Beach. The MAC encourages you to book yours tonight and enjoy your stay. The Mid-American Conference would like to thank and recognize the official corporate partners for their continued support of the MAC and the 2019 basketball tournament presented by Visit Myrtle Beach. Thank you, Marathon, University Hospital Sports Medicine, The Bag, Medical Mutual, Ohio Lottery, Johnston, Body Armor, Gearbox, Under Armour, and BSN, and Visit Myrtle Beach. Now please welcome the Toledo cheerleaders, the Dancing Rockets, and the Varsity Pep Band.
Toledo gotten back in it here in the second quarter, and Kayla McIntyre, one of the reasons why, 4 or 5 from the field.
Yeah, we highlighted her in the open, and for right reason, right? She can do so much around the rim, great hands, you see it here. Fumbled it, but found a way to collect and finish at the rim, and she's just a steady inside presence, over 58% from the floor, so a consistent factor, and making some big plays here to get Toledo right back into the basketball game.
Rockets trying to cut it to 2 inside, unable to finish a couple of times is Tanya Beecham.
What athleticism, though. Good reach. She just clapped her hands pretty hard. She knew she got a good look at it there, and she's going to settle in, but she provides some great athleticism on the interior. Can really get up and play.
Oh, what a pass inside, and finishing is Kleesner. Great pass by Taylor. Kennedy Taylor with the assist.
5 of 7 from the floor, off of the bench for Kleesner.
Davis can't get it to go. Out of bounds, it'll still be Toledo basketball as Tatiana Davis couldn't knock down the jumper. Kept alive by the Rockets, and the officials get together and confer and say it's Miami basketball. Trish Cullip wants a vote.
I think so too, and that's just it. But you know, this game is really far from over. They're going to continue to grind, and really enjoyed talking with her last night as well. You know, just excited about their team and where they're at. Pulled off an exciting win over a Ball State team that really challenged them in the first round, and kind of have that survive and advance mentality. You got to hit reset and regroup and look at the next matchup and figure out what you need to do to beat them.
Black. Beecham can't handle it. Dickerson comes away with it. Kennedy Taylor has given Megan Duffy some really good minutes. Kleesner steps out, hits the jumper. 14 for Savannah Kleesner now.
She's got 14 points in 10 minutes.
6 of 8 from the field.
She's at her average, 13.8 per game.
Lead back to 8 for Miami. Foul whistled against Black. Kleesner draws the charge.
Well, she's making plays at both ends, and look at her get out on top of the screen and just takes it square. And Black not happy with it, but there's just no way of going around there, and she extended that arm. And
extended the arm, lowered the shoulder. 2 things that usually make it go against you.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Dickerson, 3. Off the rim. Kleesner grabs the loose ball and deposits it in the basket.
I tell you, she's got such a soft touch, just almost laid it up there without rotation. And you know, when you put it up soft like that, you give it a chance just to roll in. That's exactly what happened. And she's having a monster first half.
Deflected by Reed was the shot by Davis. Miami comes away with it, trying to build on a 10-point lead. 8-0 run. McCoy steps out, 3 won't go, rebound McIntyre. Miami has not scored in 4 minutes. I'm sorry, Toledo has not scored in 4 minutes.
Well, I think they've still done a good job of moving the basketball, and that's a good place to go in, is to go get a touch for McIntyre, but unable to power through the defense. And she might be a little fatigued here too, having to guard Kleesner for as active as Kleesner's been on the offensive end. And she pulls defenses away from the rim and is pretty active. And Miami doing just enough to keep Toledo off kilter here.
Dickerson, 3. Front of the iron. Beecham with the rebound. Here's Boyd. Broken in, back in the game. Beecham knocks down the 16-footer.
Yeah, good ball movement there and confident shot for Beecham to step out, face up, and knock it down. And that's just what Toledo needs to do. Again, this game is really far from over. They just need to continue to grind, work on just getting a stop here down the stretch and being able to keep this into single digits headed into halftime.
McCoy inside from Kleesner. It won't go. Davis pulls down the rebound. Boyd setting it up again. Rokinen under, banks it in.
Great step through move there, and it takes a little bit of contact, but not enough to get a whistle, and just a great touch around the rim, and all of a sudden now this is just back to a 6-point game.
Three-pointer knocked down that time by Purvis. Leah Purvis, 3 from deep.
That's a big basket here down the stretch. Now gets it back up to 9, as Toledo, had that been a miss, could have gotten this back into a 4-point basketball game. And that's what good teams do, though. And Miami fending off the Toledo run, and Purvis with another big basket to extend the lead.
7 on the shot clock, little spin move, and that time McIntyre got herself a little too far under the basket.
Yeah, and uncharacteristic for her. She usually has good recognition of where she is on the floor, and just got, you know, credit Kleesner for that one, but McIntyre just, again, a little bit out of place to be able to get that one to fall.
There's about 0.8 second differential between the shot clock and game clock. Dickerson to the hoop, tosses it up, won't go, rebound Reed. She puts it in. Bailey Reed plays beat the clock and wins at halftime. 35-24, an 11-point lead for the number 3 seed Miami on Toledo, as Leah Purvis 3 for 3 from behind the arc.
From Miami, Shannon. And representing Toledo, Sharonda. Now each race each other with a $25 Pizza Hut gift card. Now they drop to the baseline to center court and back, then to the far baseline, and then all the way while carrying a hot from the hut back with a basketball inside. The first one to make a layup at the hoop of the original baseline wins. Ready, set, go!
Welcome back. You see 35-24 Miami leading Toledo, as Miami trying to become the 4th top seed to advance, trying to keep it perfect as far as top seeds making it to the semifinals, along with Jackie Winden. I'm Dave Bacon. And Jackie, kind of a first half of runs, and in fact Miami ends the half on a 5-0 run to extend the lead back out.
Yeah, no, you know, so many times, you know, teams just kind of, I don't want to say close out the half and just kind of say, we'll go regroup. But that last 2 minutes of a half can be really important and really pivotal in a game. And I think that, you know, as this game progresses, we're going to look back at that, because Toledo was able to cut it to 6. And then over the last about minute and a half, minute 15 there, Miami went on a 5-0 run to extend the lead. And had a possession or two gone the other way, it would have really closed that gap. And all of a sudden we'd be saying, you know, instead of a 9-point game, this could have easily been a 3, 4, 5-point game. So I give Miami a lot of credit for sticking in there at the end, making some big plays. They've had some big shots, but this game is far, far, far from over.
Kind of interesting, too. two players that have really dominated the offensive sequence for Miami. Savannah Kleesner, 7 of 9 from the field, 16 points. Leah Purvis, 4 of 4 from the field, 11 points. So those two, and those aren't the two people you think would be scorers.
Well, they're 11 of 13 combined, and you know when I talked to Megan Duffy yesterday, though, she talked a lot about this. She talked about the versatility of her team and the fact that they've got a couple of different weapons at as much attention as Lauren Dickerson has garnered, which again is deservedly so, that she's got now the intelligence and the IQ to go along with that in terms of understanding the game and who to get the ball to and how to have your head up and where some other options are within the scheme of their offense, and they've been effective with that. They've got 6 assists on 15 made field goals, so good job of playing within the offense, and those players have just done a nice job of locking in and making shots.
Time for us to take a timeout here at halftime. When we return, we'll take a look at the quarterfinal game that finished before this. So who the winner of this game will face? Ohio. The number 2 seed was impressive. Highlights of their win over Northern Illinois, as not quite sure what she is eating there. She didn't know if she liked the gummy. We're going to take a quick timeout. We'll be back here at Quicken Loans Arena.
Let's give a warm thank you to these students and to Quicken Loans for helping to make this higher education awareness and preparedness program a success. Now check out the number draw for tonight's halftime stats. Look out for the Global Sellers walking up and down each section for your chance to win. Now check out the Arbitron for all the best highlights from the first half.
It is our 4th quarterfinal of the day, and the 3rd seed, Miami, trying to make it all the top seeds advancing to the semifinals. Welcome back to Quicken Loans Arena, along with Jackie Winden. I'm Dave Bacon. In the game that preceded this one, so the winner of this will face Ohio University. And let's take a look at some highlights as the Bobcats got after it early, took the lead early, and never let it go. A really impressive performance as Erica Johnson hits the 3, and the freshman just kept hitting the 3s.
Yeah, she had a great first half and really looked composed and like an upperclassman that had been here before. But, Ohio really came out of the gate strong, and Bob Bolden was pleased with that type of performance, although you have to give NIU credit. They made a lot of big shots and 3s. At the buzzer was at one there.
Erica Hodges, yeah.
And just, but it was just too much Ohio. They just played a great floor game at both ends of the floor.
There's Gabby Burris, ZC Hooks with the assist. Inside Allie Mae with the bucket. And again, that's Wollicott, but Erica Johnson had the answer every time as she stepped up and played well. Hooks to Burke, just too much. And wire to wire, Bob Bolden had to be pleased with that. And when we look at the recap of that, Johnson, double-double, 18 points and 10 boards. And Burris 19 points, 5 rebounds.
And it was really a pretty evenly matched game in the second and fourth periods, but you see really the first and the third were the difference makers, and that's being Ohio being able to come out of the gate strong and then coming out of halftime strong to really extend the lead and be the difference in the game. But Voigt there, 14 points, 8 rebounds. What a phenomenal career she has had, and wish her all the best at the next level in regards to whatever she moves on to. But a great afternoon, a great showing for her.
What a performance by Gabby Nikitsanaya as she almost equaled her career high in that losing effort. We're going to step aside, take a quick timeout. Miami plays on. When we return, we'll look at first half highlights from Miami as they have an 11-point lead on Toledo here at half. Welcome back inside Quicken Loans Arena, 35-24, the 3 seed. Miami trying to become the third of the top 4 seeds to advance to the semifinals on Friday. Along with Jackie Winden, I'm Dave Bacon. Jackie, this one's been a game of runs. Let's take a look at some first half highlights. Early going, it was Leah Purvis, 3-ball, then drive.
Yeah, she was very comfortable from long range when you've got other players stepping up and contributing, and she looked like it was going to be nothing but the bottom of the net, attacking with confidence, and she's perfect from the floor in the early going.
Michaela McIntyre getting it done inside as Kayla McIntyre was a force.
Yeah, well, she's just so good with the ball in her hands and the low block. Does a great job of collecting and finishing, and she's been an anchor on the inside, and she was so for the Toledo Rockets in the first half.
Savannah Kleesner off the bench, throwing in 16 in that first half.
Yeah, easily a starter though as well, and just moves so well without the basketball. You see here the offensive rebound putback, and she was just 7 of 9 from the floor, not too shabby, right, to get things started. Again, coming off the bench, but a player that has started for Miami throughout the season.
And you see that bench points is because of Kleesner. Those are her 16 points. Rebounds pretty even. Probably a couple more turnovers than Toledo would like, and they'd like to be shooting a little bit better from the field. Miami's 52% because they're passing the ball really well.
Yeah, they're making that extra pass through the lane. They're being aggressive, not allowing the pressure by Toledo's defense to really get to them. But again, this game far from over. I look for Toledo to regroup a little bit. Michaela Boyd is a phenomenal underclassmen player that could really start to take over the basketball game, and I look for her to start to assert herself into the game, and that'll give Toledo a great chance here in the second half.
Third quarter action is straight ahead. The final spot in the 2019 Women's Basketball Tournament on the Mid-American side of things up for grabs. 20 minutes to decide it. Miami leading Toledo as we head to the third.
for some basketball. It's the High Regency College meter. Let's get up the fleets to going. It's time for basketball.
The Myrtle Beach area, known as the Grand Strand, stretches from Little River to Pawleys Island along the South Carolina shore, home to 60 miles of sandy beaches and plenty of sunshine. There's something for everyone to enjoy. Go to visitmyrtlebeach.com to plan your vacation today. But wait until after the second half of basketball here at Quicken Loans Arena. Miami starts the third quarter by inbounding the ball, and Dickerson brings it into the forecourt. Interesting to see if Toledo continues to do the strong hedge. Taken away. Great defense. As Sarah St. Fort just strips it away but can't convert.
I tell you, these couple minutes here to start the half are going to be important for Toledo to make a run. And what a great defensive play, but Miami does a nice job of collapsing in then and trying to force the errant shot. Great defensive play, though, by St. Fort. That's the type of play they're going to need at this end of the floor, just a possession at a time to get right back into the game.
McCoy. 13 on the shot clock. Dickerson will reset and fire the three. Out of bounds, Toledo basketball. So a couple of good defensive stands. First two possessions for the Rockets. Trying to go to work and cut in on this 11-point Miami lead. Black pulls up, knocks it down. Nakia Black.
Good start again. Nakia Black has really come up with some big offensive possessions to score the basketball. And who else, right? Purvis.
Perfect, 5 for 5 from the floor. 3 of them long balls. She has 13.
Great
good hands, yeah.
Yeah, tremendous on the ball defense. You could tell what Toledo wanted to do. They had Lauren Dickerson guarding Nakia Black. They wanted to isolate her on the post and get that mismatch, but weren't able to because of the on-ball defense. So great job by Miami to get that stop. It's good team defense.
Levering couldn't convert. Had a good look at it, did Kristen Levering. On the shot clock. Black launches the three. Rebound grabbed by Michaela Boyd. And she'll head out to the top of the key and reset the offense. Away from the ball. Looks like they're going to get McCoy for the foul. Kleesner checks back in. Kleesner, 7 of 9 from the field, 16 points to lead all scorers back in the game. Nice defense, Kleesner with the block.
Good ball movement, good patience there too. Just trying to go inside, but Toledo doing a good job of defending on the ball and Miami not forcing it. Just settling in and running their offense.
Dickerson, when all else fails, take it inside.
And that's what happens if you take your time a little bit and wait for that defense to spread out a little bit. When you move the basketball, you're going to get a lane. And again, Miami's got a couple of different players that can really attack.
Nice rebound by Kayla McIntyre. She'll head to the line, shooting 2.
Just a great job there on the glass. This is what we've said all season long about McIntyre, is her ability to keep possessions alive, and she's a force and an anchor in the inside. She's got great hands and steps up. It's a big free throw, and she's so reliable on the inside, and I think that's one of the best qualities a player can have. You know what you're going to get out of her, and that's somebody that's going to play hard, run the floor at both ends, do her best to clean up the glass and contest shots, and then score the ball at a high efficiency.
McIntyre hits double figures at 10. And Kennedy Taylor, who had some impressive minutes in that first half, checks in for her first action here in the third quarter. Mariah Copeland on the floor for the first time for the Rockets as well. And she is defending Kennedy and forces an errant pass, turnover, gives the ball to the Rockets. Boyd, the runner. Rebound, McIntyre gets the foul. Got pushed from behind. Nice offensive rebound by Kayla McIntyre.
Well, we said it, gosh, what, about 30 seconds ago, right? McIntyre on the offensive glass, just a great job of positioning. See, no white jerseys. They're able to make contact and keep her off the glass. And McIntyre's a player you've got to know where she's at on the floor just to be able to keep contact and stay between her and the basketball.
Was almost down and popped back out on her.
Yeah, rare miss at the line. What is she today? She was perfect before that, right?
Yep. 2 of 3, 3 of 4 from the free throw line. 11 points for Kayla McIntyre. Lead is 10 for Miami. A little too tall. Again, the second entry pass that was off the mark on 2 consecutive possessions. Boyd will draw the foul.
And, I mentioned this at halftime, Michaela Boyd's a player that can really get some things started. Nice job of changing speeds there, contact coming down the lane, and even made that extra pass to the corner. But Toledo hasn't been able to chip into the lead, but they haven't allowed Miami to extend it either.
Kendall McCoy checks in for Bailey Reed. 3-pointer. Rokinen knocks it down. Sarah Rokinen triples.
Yeah, big basket there, and again, just a possession at a time. Megan Duffy's going to take a timeout here to regroup a little bit.
We're going to take it with them as Toledo on the 3-pointer by Rokinen cuts it to a 7-point deficit, 39-32. Rokinen for 3.
Check out the corner board as we welcome today's group to the MAC tournament. All right, fans, we have Julie from Toledo with us. It's time again to play high or lower, presented by Marathon Petroleum. Julie, we have an assortment of exceptional products here, which are all available at Marathon locations, along with high-quality gasoline featuring STD additives. Your job is to take a look and tell us whether the total price of these items is higher or lower than $10.82. First up, we have Body Armor Water, Marathon Performance Motor Oil, and Doritos. Julie, what do you think, higher or lower than $10.82? Says lower, and it is lower. $8.17 to be exact. Congratulations, Julie. You won a $25 Marathon gift card. Enjoy that card, and thanks for playing. Marathon, Julie, the American spirit.
here is a look in Miami won both games during the regular season. They won the last 3 after an 11-game Toledo winning streak in the series history. Toledo leads the all-time series 38-29. And if you're Toledo, you're down 7, but Miami's shooting better than 50% from the field, and you're only down 7.
They've done a good job of coming out with some energy here, being a little bit disruptive, and again, they just want to kind of crawl back into this basketball game. But Lauren Dickerson again comes around the screen, finds herself settling in for that long-range jump shot and knocks it down. That's what's happened. Every time Toledo's tried to make a little bit of a run, Miami's had an answer.
McIntyre draws the foul. She'll head to the line and shoot a couple more. She's been a frequent visitor to the line in this third quarter.
Yeah, good pass inside, and the defense just a little bit late in terms of the rotation there. And you got to move while that ball is in the air. And again, just a little bit late. But I like the attack here by Toledo and going into Kayla McIntyre. I think the more touches she gets, the better opportunity Toledo's going to have to win the basketball game.
Back of the iron. Now 3 of 5 from the free throw line, all of them in the first 4:40 of this third quarter. Splits the pair. 8-point lead for Miami. Kleesner. Too easy.
Defense tried to get away with one there and try to get the offensive foul, but Kleesner keeps her balance and then just a step through, up and under move, and we've seen that before.
On the shot clock. Boyd will go to work. Michaela Boyd, the runner.
And good job there by Dickerson. We saw about 2 minutes ago Michaela Boyd attack on the right side of the floor, and Dickerson bodied her up and got called for the foul. So just a better job by Dickerson there to force that shot. And Michaela Boyd is just unable to knock it down, but I like the aggressive take there by Boyd.
Good pass from McCoy to Kleesner. And a good job to force her a little farther under the basket by McIntyre. Not a great look.
Well, it's the same defense we just saw at the other end by Dickerson. And again, it's not that you're shutting down, your opposition. You're just defending and making it a lesser percentage shot and a more difficult shot.
Kleesner volleyball taps that out. It will still be Toledo ball, but good hands by Savannah Kleesner. Bailey Reed checking in.
Can you tell that they've gone to McIntyre inside a couple times? That ball fake there. Look how many white jerseys are swarming down to defend McIntyre.
10-point lead for Miami. 4:01 to go in the third. and then back to Quicken Loans Arena. You see Miami, that big first quarter, kind of opened up the lead, and Toledo still trying to chase him down. Was cut into the lead by a point here in the third, looking to get a couple more stops and hit a few shots.
That's it. You know, they've made a good push here to start the second half, and yes, they've outscored Miami by a point, but they've really got to do a nice job of closing out this quarter and really getting into that gap even more so.
Shot clock violation as Rokinen's shot did not hit the rim. Possession goes over to Miami, trying to build on a 10-point lead. Dickerson around the Kleesner screen, perfect.
That's a big basket there. You talk about the game of runs and, you know, being able to kind of hold off the Toledo Rockets run that they're going to be trying to make here. And
nice pass, Rokinen, but Boyd can't finish. Hustles and gets the rebound. 3 ball off the mark. As Copeland can't get it to go, and now Reed will run it down.
Well, I'll tell you, great effort there by the Toledo Rockets. Again, the backdoor cut, and they're trying to get something started. You can just see it. They're working exceptionally hard. They're trying to get on the glass, but the ball's just not bouncing their way right now, and they're unable to finish. And really, at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to, is possessions and being able to score the basketball.
Rokinen, good look inside, and Beecham finishes.
Well, she's put a spark off the bench. She's provided some good activity and a little bit of physicality and athleticism in the inside. That's kind of been a spark Toledo has needed.
Dickerson 3, good again. Lauren Dickerson starting to feel it. She's up to 14 now. And the lead grows to 14.
That's what we're talking about. Toledo's really grinding and really working. And just like that, 2 flicks of the wrist by Dickerson, and you know, it's 6 unanswered points, and it just beats you down because you're working so hard and putting yourself in a position to get back into the game, but the ball's just not bouncing your way with it.
Good look by Nakia Black, can't get it to go. She's whistled for the foul on Kennedy Taylor. Again, it's you want her to take that shot. She got into the open space, just can't get it to fall.
Yeah, it's just been one of those evenings from the floor. Not that they're shooting the ball bad. I mean, they're 33%, which, you know, isn't horrible, but it's not as electrifying as they're needing it to be to keep pace with Miami right now, who's shooting 55%.
And a lot of that Miami field goal percentage is really good passing. Having said that, they are 5 of 11 from three-point range too, which always is nice and will add to that field goal percentage. Levering, good give and go. Taylor draws the foul.
Well, they've attacked from behind the arc. Dickerson with a couple threes. So what do they do here? Go right inside to get a touch. Nice give and go. And McIntyre just unable to get set and commits the foul. But a nice little two-man game there from Miami to be aggressive downhill to attack the rim.
First one no good for Taylor. The other thing about Kleesner, McCoy, and Levering, they all pass the ball really well. They get it to players where they can do something with it. They're usually on mark, and they get them into the shooting area pretty quickly.
That's a credit to Megan Duffy and the system that she has in play. They've got 5 players that are very cohesive, and that's a coach's #1 job, is to put your players in a position to be successful. And when you get into the system and the movements and the reading of the defense, and Miami's really been clicking on all cylinders with that.
Good hands by Levering. Ball knocked free. Dickerson controls. Little 12-footer. Knocks it down. She is her mid-range is very good. And then she has been hitting a couple of three-pointers as she's 2 for 7 behind the arc. But when she's hitting that 3, she's quick enough, she's going to get free in the mid-range too.
Well, we've said this about a lot of different players we've watched today, and that's what you're talking about in terms of first-team all-conference players. And you see it across the board, even beyond that, because the league has such depth and athleticism. But, it's the intelligence factor. And I said it earlier. You used to have players that were three-point shooters, and that's what they did. Then you had players that were a little bit out of control, but could go off the dribble and attack, but they couldn't make a fake or face-up jump shot to save their life. And the game has shifted. The game has evolved. That's why it's so important for players, get away from some of this all AAU stuff and get back to just fundamentally playing the game and being able to score the basketball in a variety of ways. And the only way you do that is to really work on your game. Off the dribble repetitions, face-up repetitions, behind the arc repetitions. We said that with Presley Hudson. It's a young lady after a tough shooting expedition earlier in the season. What'd she do? I saw it on Twitter. She's on the gym with the gun out there at 10 o'clock at night getting hundreds of shots up. I mean, that's what it takes at this level. And if players want to continue to develop and to continue to contribute, that's what it takes. And we're seeing it out of Dickerson here today.
Great defense by Levering. Alters the shot by McIntyre and grabs the rebound. Miami taking control of this late in the third quarter. Good aggressive defense. 12 on the shot clock still. Purvis, 3. Off the side of the iron, her first miss of the night. She was a perfect 5 for 5 from the field, 3 of 3 from three-point range. 0.3 differential between shot clock and game clock in this third quarter, and Miami has now opened up a 17-point lead that Toledo will try to cut in the final 20 seconds of this third quarter. Away from the ball.
There's going to be a holding foul there.
Kennedy Taylor.
Miami foul number 11, Kennedy Taylor,
It's away from the ball, trying to stick on the defense there, and that's going to be 5 team fouls, so that will send Copeland to the line.
Ryan Copeland at the line.
Copeland, a sophomore from Toledo. Homegrown talent for Trisha Cullen. Knocks down the first one. Kleesner and McCoy check back in. Two for 2, and Rokinen will replace Mariah Copeland. Full court pressure. Dickerson, little 6-footer, front of the rim, grabbed by Toledo, and a nice pass, Rokinen. They say it counts. Good job, as Rokinen realized she needed to get rid of it quickly, and 52-39 will be the score as we head to the fourth quarter, and a good job to chase that down and put it on board for the Rockets.
And get on your meetings here for 3 Buffalo Wild Wings. We are close. If the two teams combined for a total of 100 points, head to Buffalo Wild Wings across the street from you with the game ticket. And Buffalo Wild Wings will get $5 off your order. Buffalo Wild Wings is located only hundreds of feet from your seat at 724 Prospect Avenue in downtown Cleveland, across the street from you. Offer for dining only, non-alcoholic beverages, limited on discount to guests, maximum 2 per table. The Mid-American Conference would like to thank and recognize official corporate partners for their continued support of the MAC and the 2019 basketball tournament presented by Visit Myrtle Beach. Thank you, Marathon, University Hospital Sports Medicine, Labatt, Medical Mutual, the Ohio Lottery, Johnston, Body Armor, Earbomb, Under Armour, and BSN, and Visit Myrtle Beach.
But here is a look, and they say Rokkanen did not get the. So she did not get rid of the shot before the quarter expired, and there's a good look at it right there.
Yeah, and the fingertips when you see on the
basket
other
is
backboard.
red, yep.
Yeah.
So the clock went off on the fingertips.
And you know what? It gets a feel it's just been that kind of night for Toledo. They make a great play out in transition, and again, working exceptionally hard, but just didn't quite get it out of her hands. And those are the kind of breaks that you have to get on in a game like this. But Michaela Boyd, a big shot there to start the half, or start the quarter rather, and you're going to see some pressure here by Toledo.
Miami basketball as Boyd knocked down that baseline jumper. And safe to assume you'll see a lot of pressure over the next 9:37.
And that might be just what they need, because again, they're working so hard, they're just grinding at it. If their defense can get some stops and create some easy opportunities, they could find themselves right back in the basketball game. They've got a lot of time left.
Purvis can't get the three to go. Rebound by McCoy.
Well, just the third offensive rebound for Miami, but that's a big one here to start the fourth period. Prolongs the game that much more by adding another possession.
On the sideline is what they're saying Leah Purvis was. Turnover gives it back to Toledo.
Take there by Kleesner trying to make the pass through the lane, and you can see on the right side of your screen, Purvis just dribbles it right out of bounds.
McIntyre. Under move. Foul whistled against Boyd. Her third. Back to the full court pressure for Toledo.
You know, it's funny, I remember watching Maryland's men's team play years ago, and they talk about break and press. And, coaches clinic, they ask all the time, what do you run? What do you set your team up? And he says, all I do is recruit a point guard that can break a press with the dribble. And that's what we just saw Dickerson do, single-handedly go through three Toledo defenders to the other end, and Kleesner now with 20 points for the evening.
9 of 12 from the field is Savannah Kleesner.
The best press offense you have is recruiting a point guard that can break it.
Reed gets the rebound and will get the foul on McIntyre.
And they're just, it's good effort there, just trying to clog up, try to get a jump ball or be disruptive with the play. And Johnson's going to check back in, but it's just, the ball has just bounced Miami's way here today. And Toledo's continuing to grind, though. They've got 8 minutes, but just can't seem to put a dent into this this Miami lead.
It will still be Miami basketball. Last foul was on McIntyre, so both her and Boyd. Actually, they say it was St. Fort. So St. Fort and McIntyre have 3 fouls. Kleesner gets it across the timeline just in the nick of time.
Do you think she knew Reed was standing there? I was blocked by our screen here, but Kleesner with a shovel pass, and that was a big play to not get the 10-second violation.
Purvis misses the 3.
Yeah, good rebound there by McIntyre. Well, Toledo running out of time here. They need to find a way to get some buckets. It's a good start.
Black, Micaiah Black.
She's had the answer a few times here for Toledo in this basketball game.
Foul will be whistled against Johnson for Toledo, and now Beecham will check back in. Third team foul on Toledo. Reed thought about going down low to Kleesner. They'll recycle it. Dickerson, front of the rim. Kleesner the rebound.
She's just had a monster game. 9 of 12 from the floor with 20 points, 6 rebounds. She just seems to be in the right place at the right time here tonight. Actually 7, that was her 7th rebound. But again, extends that possession. And again, as Toledo's battling the clock, that's a big rebound.
Kendall McCoy makes it hurt on the scoreboard. She knocks down the 3, lead back to 16. At this point, if you're Miami, you want to make the possessions long because the only way Toledo can get back in it is with quick possessions. We're going to step aside. 59-41 is our score. McCoy, a big 3 to extend the lead.
It's time to get rowdy, man, fans. Get up and get on your feet in sections 125 and 126. As soon as you have a chance to at the Wild Eagle Saloon, rowdy inspection. And the winning section control the game ticket within 2 weeks. Wild Eagle Saloon in downtown Cleveland for $5 off your purchase. Get rowdy and win. At the Wild Eagle Saloon, downtown Cleveland's rowdiest bar. Our friends with the University Hospital Sports Medicine T-shirt cause are back. We want a shirt and make some noise.
Trisha Culp trying to figure out a way to erase a 16-point deficit in 6:37.
Well, it's a tall task against a team like Miami, but you look at her overall record there, 242 and 116. This team has had some tremendous players come through and has had some big-time wins, and not done yet. She's one of the great coaches and has really helped set the bar for the league.
Foul whistled against Dickerson.
Tripping foul. Good little hesitation by Boyd. You're going to see there the trip up, and it's a good aggressive take by Boyd.
Third foul on Dickerson, just the first on Miami in this fourth quarter. Rokinen, good look, can't get it to go. It's been the story of the shooting for Toledo, is just shooting 33% from the field.
Yeah, at this time of the year, you've got to come out and really work and be locked in, and Toledo was, but then you've also got to be able to step up with confidence and get the benefit of the doubt when it comes to the roll and to making shots. And although Toledo has really grinded, really played hard. They just have not been able to find ways to score the basketball. But again, credit Miami's defense for having a game plan and executing it in terms of the rotations of how to defend, and a good up and under there by McIntyre to draw contact.
She'll head to the line. A couple of free throws coming.
It's a good touch inside. Kleesner, good wide base, but you can just see that right hand at the very end come down. And it's one of those, you do everything right as a defender, you know, and then at the last second you see that hand go down, and then they stand there with their arms like locked. And just because your elbows are locked doesn't mean you're straight up and vertical.
McIntyre now 5 of 7, make it 6 of 8 from the free throw line. 14 points for Kayla McIntyre.
She's 3 rebounds away from a double-double.
You see the trapping pressure. Gets it across the timeline with a couple of seconds to spare. Does McCoy to Bailey Reed. And now, again, if you're Miami, you just want to lengthen the possessions. Get good looks. And Reed gets one and knocks it down.
15-foot shot, Bailey Reed. Another good answer. You look at the stat lines for Purvis and Reed, and just great support from wing players to step up and make some of those, you know, mid-range jump shots.
Boyd off the mark. McCoy taps it, then runs it down. Dickerson will head to the opposite side of the floor, and now inside the lane, 10-footer front of the rim. I think she was surprised there wasn't anybody closing out on her.
How open she was, but a good decision not to take that extra dribble, because again, you talk about her size on the inside, and wide open jump shots sometimes better than a contested one. You said Black's name how many times now?
Knocks down another 3, does Nakia Black.
McIntyre has really been the offensive story for Toledo.
Away from the ball. Fourth team foul on Toledo. That one whistled on Nakia Black.
Yeah, just the hold up there as Purvis was trying to get free coming across the free throw line. Still some time left in this basketball game, but Toledo's going to have to really come up with some stops here in the next minute and get some looks going the other way.
Again, if you're Miami, longer possessions are just fine. Get a good shot.
And that's not uncharacteristic for them. They're comfortable in that, and that's just a
three-pointer.
That could be the dagger. They're milking the clock a little bit, and again, they're comfortable in the half court, and then Dickerson gets enough space to just step in and hit another 3. She's now 19 points and 8 of 18 from the floor, 6 assists, only 2 turnovers. Type of stat line you need out of your point guard this time of year. You're going to continue to live on in the tournament.
Rokinen rims out, and then it's thrown out, and Purvis comes away with it.
And that's a great shot, a good release, and I think that just sums up how it's been for Toledo. The ball just hasn't gone in for them. It's good execution. Again, they're working hard. It's not like they didn't show up today and just it was an off night. The simple fact that the ball just didn't go in for them.
McIntyre gets whistled for bodying, and that is the 5th team foul, so 2 free throws coming.
See her just sliding around there, and that's going to be the hip check, and that's a blocking foul. And Dickerson now with a chance to get over the 20-point mark. Comes in averaging 16.
4th foul on McIntyre. Dickerson knocks it down. First team All-MAC performer is Lauren Dickerson. Sarah St. Fort checks in for Toledo. McIntyre with those 4 fouls to the bench.
Got some blood on the floor. Chance for each team to regroup here. Again, I think that 3 by Dickerson now following up with the free throw. It looked like, you know, with about 4:20 to play, Toledo only down 13, could have made a run, but you know, again, it's credit to Miami. They've had an answer, and anytime Toledo tried to get something jump-started and cut in to get it, they just couldn't quite get it under 5. You know, they got it to 7, and then Toledo would extend, or Miami rather, would extend that lead a little bit, and just had an answer. And I tell you, if this one holds up, as good as the conference has been, and the conference has been really good, 1 through 12. I talked to coaches all week, and they even said, you know, Bowling Green, who's at the bottom of the league, and tremendous coach, and Robin Freilich, and, you know, gets 2 conference wins. They're probably the best 2 conference win team in the country. I mean, they just, because they could beat they beat Buffalo. They beat, you know, really competed with some teams. And when you're that good top down, it is a little bit surprising that we didn't have the upsets that we typically see in the conference tournament on that first round here at the Q.
Well, we were a buzzer beater by Central Michigan of having the top seed get knocked off.
But you've got 1 through 4 at the end of the day advancing, and Eastern Michigan, I'm sure, is proud of the effort. They played a great game, but it doesn't matter to them right now because their season's over. But, you know, as good as the league has been for the 4 at the top, which had separated themselves as a whole, but just knowing how good the league is, and for a team to potentially come in here and be able to steal one from one of those 4 teams that got the bye and not be able to do that, you know, really does. It says a lot about the strength of that upper echelon of this conference. And
broken in the long 3.
There's a big basket.
That one's not rimming out.
Yeah. When you don't hit the rim, you don't need to worry about it rimming out, right?
Good defense as the Rockets trap. They get it to Kleesner with a couple seconds to spare across the timeline. And again, you back it out if you're the Red Hawks.
Yeah, but I tell you, we are in for a treat on Friday. There's going to be some phenomenal basketball play, and I'm sure all 4 of these teams are grateful to have a day to rest and prepare, because those are going to be some dogfights there. They're just going to be absolutely duking it out in those 2 semifinal games.
McCoy knocks down the baseline jumper. So again, you're seeing 20 seconds off the 30-second shot clock and a bucket. And you're going to win a lot of basketball games when you can play that way in the half court. That's the way you protect leads.
Yeah, not a good decision there by Levering. You appreciate the effort, but it's a tough thing to do, is to save the basketball under your opponent's basket.
Michaela Boyd knocks down the jumper. 15-point deficit. Timeout for Toledo.
Well, we've seen stranger things happen to close out basketball games, and it's going to go to a full timeout here, but Miami's certainly in the driver's seat. Again, just need to execute when you've got a player like Dickerson on your team to be able to control and have the ball inbounded to her to be able to break pressure. You're going to look for Toledo to try to get the quick steal and then foul, try to prolong this game as long as possible. It could be a difficult task with the 70% free throw shooting team as a whole that Miami is.
And an underappreciated player in this game has been Bailey Reed. 8 rebounds, 6 points, 8 rebounds, 3 of 4 from the field, the block shot.
Well, it's oftentimes at this point of the year players like that become your X factors and your difference makers, because, you know, everybody knows what Dickerson can do. Everybody knows what McIntyre can do, and, you know, you've got to have some of those other, and I don't want to call them role players, but other players that step in, granted, they are just as important. And then when they can contribute like that and put up numbers like that, I mean, that's efficiency at its finest. 3 of 4 from the floor, 8 rebounds, 1 assist.
A block,
just 1 turnover, 1 foul. I mean, that's a tremendous stat line in 29 minutes of action, and that's a type of performance you need from the top down. How about that for a record? 43 and 18 in her first 2 years, and this second year not quite done yet. She's one of the only female coaches in the country in her first year to win over 20 games. And yeah, we've mentioned there's a lot of great coaches in this league that have raised the bar. Now you've got a younger, I don't want to call them generation, because I know I get some flack from Sugihara and some of the other coaches when I say that, but some new coaches coming in, and Megan Duffy and Robin Freilich and Melissa Jackson, and, you know, just some of these coaches that are really going out, connecting with players, doing a tremendous job on the recruiting trail, and they're going to be set to just duke it out in conference play, and it's a good thing for the league. It really is.
McCoy misses the first free throw. Time to split the play. knocks that one down. Miscommunication that time as it's thrown away by Johnson. Levering checks back in. Kleesner will get a well-earned breather. 20 points, 7 rebounds, 2 blocks, 9 of 12 from the field, 2 of 2 from the free throw line. There's efficiency.
That's it. I mean, it's been a story of the game. And teaching, caring. These coaches give an awful lot to these players. These players give an awful lot to these coaches. Anytime you get to this point of the tournament, you know, somebody's got to go home. It's always tough because of the investment made by all involved. But good look there at
Kleesner.
From
St. Charles, Missouri. A junior. Got another year at Miami. Was a second team All-MAC selection.
That'd be fun if we had like a after the season was over. Allow the first team to play the second team, to play the third team, an honorable mention. And
some of the second team would be going after it because they think they should be on the first team.
And deservedly so. And that's not, I mean, that's just how good the league is. I think that would be a really competitive game.
Johnson gets fouled. Got tangled up with one of the Red Hawks, so she'll head to the line shooting 2.
Good job of changing direction there, and you see the trip right there, but a nice hard take. Good aggressive to the rim by Johnson.
Jayla Johnson knocks down the first free throw. She's a freshman from Louisville, Kentucky. Some more substitutions. Abby Hoff checks in for Miami. Lexi Lance, freshman from Wadsworth, so up this way in Ohio.
Both teams going to their bench now and just going to sit down and play, not commit fouls, but just really sit down and work. Good effort there. Good job defensively here out in passing lanes. This is what you love to see. So, you know, it's a great testament to a team that continues to battle, continues to fight. Just a little too much contact there. Is able to run the basketball down. Was Taylor and drew the foul.
So the foul was on Tushin Tingay. Gereltz at the free throw line knocks the first one down. So Vanessa Gereltz, the freshman, gets in the scorebook. Kelly McLaughlin checks in, another freshman. He's from St. Louis. Gereltz 2 for 2 from the free throw line. So in fact, all 4 of the top seeds will advance to the semifinals, setting up to be an entertaining Friday of women's basketball. Tomorrow night, the men take center stage with the quarterfinals.
Good take again, the crossover. We've seen a couple good takes here by Johnson. Nice job of exploding to the rim off that dribble. You're right, you know, those 4 seeds, we talked a lot about Central Michigan and Buffalo making a run in the Sweet 16. Miami, 22-7 on the year, and you just wonder how those last, you know, those 3 losses down the stretch. Now, granted, one's at Buffalo and one's at Ohio, who are both advanced here in the tournament. Earlier loss to Buffalo in the regular season, so 3 of their 7 losses are teams that are playing on Friday. It's going to be very interesting to see how those teams prepare and come out ready to play on Friday, and then to see how it unfolds on Saturday, and then what happens in terms of the postseason, because there's been a lot of chatter about 3 teams potentially having an opportunity to get into the postseason.
Foul, so free throws coming. Kenzie Schmidt.
Pass through the lane.
Schmidt will be at the line. Kind of ironic, Miami plays Ohio in the semifinals. Is it a tournament edition of the Battle of the Brick?
There you go.
Knocks down the second one.
You know, it's been a back and forth battle too in terms of East and West and how those teams have been represented. And how about Johnson again? Good fake, misfires at the rim, but nice job of attacking.
So Megan Duffy's Redhawks impressive, a 72-54 win over the Toledo Rockets, the 3rd seed.